Delighted to say I'm joined by Shane Kingston, Cork hurler, UCC hurler, Douglas hurler. Shane, how are you getting on? Delighted to hear that we're all going back hurling.
Yeah, absolutely. Suppose it's something to look forward to. Last month I thought we wouldn't have anything, so delighted with the recent news, to be honest.
Yeah, and even just going back to the clubs, I presume delighted to get back in with Douglas and just get in with the friends you grew up with.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose it's a nice opportunity to go back to the club and have a nice crack off it. I suppose usually you'd only have 10 days to 2 weeks back with the club, and that'll be it for preparation. Whereas now you can get back training now in the next few weeks without contact, and so it's nice to go back to the club for that extra period of time. So as you said as well, it's the people you kind of grew up with, so I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah, and I suppose throughout the period, the few months off when people haven't had a chance to impress the manager, you've at least been at home and been able to campaign your father to make sure you're staying on the team.
Don't think that'll be, but yeah, hopefully it will. No, sure, I've just been looking after myself. I'm just doing my own training here. My brother is, I've a few fields there around the house and gym equipment, so I've just been doing my own stuff. So he knows what I'm doing. He knows what everyone else is doing, really. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, and you had that charity fundraiser a while back. The Robbie O'Flynn was involved in that. It must have been nice to have something to focus on for Marymount Hospice, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a great idea by Robbie. I think his mum is involved in Marymount, so it was nice for his family, and his mum works there, so it was nice to do something for charity. And we did one with the club then as well. The shave, the head thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's shaved anymore, but it was. So between the club and the county, we raised like 90 grand. So it was nice.
And you were having a very good league campaign, and one of the big things was when after you finished up with that game against Galway, everyone was like, it's 2 months before you're going to get to play a game. It'll probably end up being 6 months or maybe even longer, 7 months before anyone gets a game as well. It's a very odd one where people have no idea where anyone's form is going to be at, and it's going to be a winter All-Ireland. You really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I suppose, nobody knows. I suppose you can only look after yourself, really. Obviously, we got on well in the Fitzgibbon. I was happy with that. I was happy with my own league performance. I suppose, if you're to be positive about it, the break has probably done everyone good, really. When we've never had, or probably hopefully never get this opportunity again, where you can let the body recover, let the muscles relax for a while. So, I think it'll be very helpful and beneficial for everyone, really.
Do you think a winter All-Ireland benefits anyone in particular? Is it something that you kind of are looking forward to?
I don't think it benefits anyone, really. Like, it's obviously it's the same for everyone. And for me personally, I'm used to it anyway. Between the Fitzgibbon, that's January and February. It's pretty similar conditions, and I've played plenty of years at Harty in October, November. So I'd be kind of used to it. But given what's going on and the lack of GA activity, I suppose the pitches will be immaculate and they'll be like a carpet. So I don't think, it's not like it'll be your typical October or November conditions with muddy, slow hurling. Like, I'd say the pitches like Park Creve, Crow Park, those kind of ones now it'll still be fast hurling. Like, it'll just be wet. So I don't think it'll make too much of a difference, really. Like.
The last few, like when you look at the names that you have in your club team, the Cadigans, yourself, there's a few more as well off the top of my head that I can't think of. Do you feel like because no one's had much preparation coming into this, that you could finally make that breakthrough with Douglas?
That's something that's been said now for the last 3 or 4 years, and we're yet to do anything. Look, as I said, it's nice to get a good opportunity with the club. As you said, the names there: Owen, Allen, Turnbull, Mark Collins. There's plenty good fellas, but we haven't really achieved anything. So yeah, it'll be nice to have a good crack off it now. I suppose it's a bit more preparation than usual, and so hopefully, we can try and make something out of the club championship.
Would you have been able to watch much of your dad, Kieran, playing, or would you have seen much footage of him playing over the years?
To be honest, none. Absolutely none. I wouldn't mind seeing it. was he'd be giving out to me for playing bad or whatever, and I'm like, it's not like you never had a bad game, so I wouldn't mind seeing footage of it, to be honest, so I can just cut him back, like, but that's yet to happen.
Yeah, but so when he takes over the Cork team and you know you're called up, is that the first time that you had him as manager, or all the way up did you have him anyway?
No, I that was in 16. I was kind of brought into the development squad. I ended up making my debut after my leaving cert then. No, I had him in with the club as well. He was involved with a fella, Jimmy Manny as well. Him and my old man were kind of trained us for years when we were younger. So look, it was nothing too different really. And even when even if he wasn't involved in my teams, he's still involved in the GA setup. Like he loves it. Like, so he's always in the loop. Like, so I was used to it, to be honest.
Yeah, and when did you first get a notion that he was going to go for the job a second time?
I suppose when he left in 17, he kind of left the door open. He didn't say he'd never come back, like, so. And he was kind of working abroad at times as well, and that was kind of finishing up towards the end of last year. So I'd say he always felt like he was going to go back at some stage. So then when the opportunity came, I suppose he just kind of went for it. Yeah.
Did you get much ribbon over it?
No, not really. Sure, I got that a few years ago, so.
You're well used to it at this stage. Who were your hurling influences growing up?
I get asked this already when I'm going around to camps. Now that it's on TV now, I'm going to have to give the proper answer. I'd usually say Cadigan. Owen. He's only living up there to see his house, like. But I suppose just because he was from the same club, but obviously a good bit older, like about 10 or 11 years older. But he was playing hurling and football, and so I was looking at him as a dual inter-county player, and I was kind of playing hurling and football at Cork development level. So unfortunately, I'll say he was Cadigan.
Does he remain? And now you mark him in training, I presume.
I would do, yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And
yeah.
There's not too much between all the top teams. I mean, you've been very close in the last few years. Obviously, probably pretty bored of hearing about the Limerick game when you were 6 points up in that. But like, there really isn't much between all these top teams, and anyone could win the All Ireland.
No, like, if you look at it, it's just a puck of a ball, really. Like, you could pick 5 or 6 teams that could potentially win an All Ireland, like, and it's all on the given day, really. As you can see, the amount of games that have been won by a point, and then that team went on to win an All Ireland or something like that. As you said, it's very small margins. Like, so you might need a bit of luck as well. But yeah, it's very close, competitive competition.
Do you get much pressure locally, or do you feel it that we have to end the 15 years without an All Ireland?
No, not at all. For me personally, no. Anyway, like, because people are saying 15 years, but sure, I wasn't involved for the last 15 years, so I don't think that kind of added pressure. Like, I've only been involved for 4 or 5 years now, so obviously it'd be nice to break the 15-year thing, of course, and that's your agenda each year. But I wouldn't be looking at it as if Cork haven't won in 15 years. Like, but I haven't been involved for, as I said, that length of time.
Yeah,
15 years. I've only 7. Then.
Do you have any concerns about going back playing, whether it's even the legacy of the virus, which is still in the country, or the fact that you're going from 0 to 60 and could pick up injuries?
Yeah, like, I suppose that's going to be a serious issue this time, is injuries. Like, by the time people go back to, as you said, I suppose it was March the last time an inter-county game was played, and probably next time it will be played is October. That's that, like, 6-month period. I suppose that's just up to fellas themselves to try get their body right and try do the most they can to avoid those injuries. But I think, yeah, there will be a lot of niggles and those kind of things this year, more so than ever. But that's just about avoiding it, I suppose, because you pick up a niggle this year, it's, you say 2, 3, 4 weeks, that could be your whole competition gone then, like.
Absolutely.
So, and with regard to the virus then as well, like, that's different in each household. And thankfully in mine, everyone's healthy, so I'd go back alright. But if somebody was living with someone who was unwell, I think that's completely understandable if they chose not to go back.
Do Do you have any particular format that you'd like to see the All Ireland run off on this year, like open draw, knockout competition?
Yeah, I think straight knockout would be a bit unfair, like given what's going on, and if what they're saying 2 week preparation for championship, realistically, is that fair? No, like anyone could have a blip then that day. Like I think any team deserves a second chance there, but I don't think the round robin is the best approach for given what's going on. Like I suppose the less games, the better, and the round robin that'll I suppose increase the risk of spread, and as well if you're to have a round robin, you can see the competition going into January and February 2021, and then that brings in player burnout, like because we'll be going about 15-16 months, like, and then you'd see no Fitzgibbon then either if there's an All Ireland in February, like.
That's a good question. I probably know the answer, but who's the riskiest man on the Cork panel?
I got asked this earlier as well. I don't want to say Augie, obviously, like, but he's going to be bragging now about that. Like.
Can anyone even get close to him?
Nah, he's kind of in a level of his own.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And do you think that game against Kilkenny last year was that like the absolute high point of what we've seen in his career so far, scoring 310?
It's probably the most he scored in the All Ireland series. Hopefully, there's more to come. To be honest, yeah, it's hard to know really. Like, obviously, he's getting a bit better with age, so hopefully he keeps getting better.
Yeah, is there anything you learned from that game against Kilkenny last year? Because you were in a great position and it just didn't happen in that second half.
Yeah, I suppose it was probably just a bit like the Limerick game. Things kind of just fell apart towards the end. But look, that's a year ago and 2 years ago. You can't really be reflecting too much on that. I suppose you can only just think about where you are now and try to move forward and change it.
Yeah, and then just the final thing. I mean, I'd say like every team across the country now, club teams going back training in pods this week. Groups of 5 or 6, whatever it might be. Are you back doing that? And is there a bit of excitement about it again?
Not yet. No, we're not back yet. Hopefully, we'll be back soon enough. But yeah, absolutely, there's excitement about that, right? It's going to be sick of doing the same stuff the whole time on your own, or I train a good bit now with my brother, and it'd be nice now to get into the swing of things. Like, sometimes you'd be crying out for a break of a week or two, but not a break of 4 months. Like, yeah. So looking forward to that now. All right.
Well, look, thanks very much, Shane. Really appreciate that, and good chatting to you.
No bother at all.